So without further ado, you guys, let's jump in. It's really exciting to introduce to you today Jennifferre Mancillas, the BSN RNC-NIC, coming to us all the way from California. And does she have a short story to share with us? Take it away, Jennifferre.
Thank you so much for that introduction, Rebecca, and so grateful to be here with you all today to share some of what I've been able to accomplish during the course of this fellowship, but also a bit of our journey to scale our nurse-led innovation. But to begin, I would love to start by reminding you that every nurse or healthcare professional out there looking to grow their own idea, that the most powerful tool available to you and the most accessible resource at your disposal is you. It's your experiences within healthcare, your moments at the bedside, connections made with patients, and conversations with your coworkers that collectively give you this unique vantage point to move the needle of healthcare with your innovation. And much was the same for our own story to build our own nurse-led innovation. My co-founder and I are both nurses, and it's after evaluating our own experiences and connecting and speaking with hundreds of healthcare workers across the board that we were able to hone in on a centric pain point. That simply healthcare professionals do not have access to the tools and resources that we need to be successful in our profession. Despite the fact there are 4 million nurses alone in the United States that spend $50 billion annually in our out-of-pocket expenses for our professional gear and resources, the entire healthcare workforce at large remains underserved. And it frankly is frustrating for nurses and healthcare workers alike who have to navigate this professional ecosystem to find what they need, but it is dated, siloed, and overwhelming. Until now, because Lumify is the world's first super app for healthcare workers. We have brought everything that healthcare workers need into one digital platform. All the brands, organizations, communities, and resources into one centralized location. With Lumify, users can buy their gear, find new jobs, trade advice, and connect with one another, access rewards, find and manage their CEUs, and so much more. But to begin our mission to support frontline healthcare workers, Lumify launched our flagship hardware product, the Unite Lite, at the start of 2021. And the Unite Lite is a patent-pending wearable LED device that is designed to help healthcare professionals illuminate their workspace while decreasing patient sleep disturbances by 70%. And the idea for the Unite Lite actually stems from a hackathon that Johnson & Johnson sponsored back in 2019, where my co-founder and I met, and we were able to take the idea for an idea like a light at night and grow it and expand it to what Lumify is today. And our physical products end up acting as an amazing acquisition channel for our broader digital ecosystem. 2021 has been a crazy whirlwind for us, full of lessons learned, but surely a lot of wins, and happy to share some of them with you today. To date, we have been able to generate over $600K in revenue with over 25,000 users. We've remained profitable. We launched our Lumify app this past Monday in the Apple App Store, and we'll be releasing 4 new products in the next coming days, as well as 4 more additional products in the next few months. We have 2 patents that are pending, utility and design. We're entering global distribution for our partnership with Medline. We have over 100 amazing brands that users can access in the Lumify app, as well as 500 brand ambassadors who are healthcare professionals themselves and looking to champion our mission and really provide our resources to those that they work with. Lumify is beginning our mission and focus with nurses, but we definitely see how expansive the market is when we look at the 4 million nurses in the US alone, and then the 60 million healthcare professionals globally. Lumify looks to scale and serve all healthcare workers internationally. But how will we do this? If we look just at the 4 million nurses in the US, it's a $2 billion market. And by breaking that down, we have 3 revenue streams, beginning with our transaction and advertising fees through our brand partners on the Lumify Hub, as well as the sale of our own Lumify products, and our B2B user-based subscription for hospital organizations and companies who employ healthcare workers that are looking really to offer, find a solution and offer healthcare workers more value for the work they do by using Lumify as a benefits resource for their employees. But diving in and taking a look at what is offered currently on the market, there are amazing brands who have created amazing communities, who some offer resource and a few gear, but none of them have been able to create a community that improves access to gear and resources while also rewarding healthcare workers for the amazing work they do. And by unifying all of this into one unified app and platform, we've been able to reduce the stress of having healthcare workers navigate a siloed, disjointed system so independently. This building Lumify has honestly been the greatest experience. We've been able to impact the lives of 25,000 healthcare professionals and students that are working in over 500 healthcare facilities across the country and into Canada, and of course the millions of patients that they've been able to serve from coast to coast. We've had the honor of donating over $10,000 to various nonprofits throughout the last year and have donated over 1,000 lights to those who are underserved. But the best part about celebrating our one-year anniversary this past week is that we're just getting started. We recently raised and completed our 1.2 seed round to ensure that all healthcare workers and students have access to the gear and resources that we need to excel at the bedside and beyond. But to learn more about our mission, please visit us at LumifyCare.com or follow us at LumifyCare. To end, I would love to encourage you in your own journey to scale your own nurse-led innovation. There's definitely, like I mentioned, lessons learned along the way, and happy to share some of them with you in hopes that it inspires you and helps you have something to lean on during your own journey. But first is really to stay gritty and lean. Innovation does not have to be costly, but it sure requires an immense amount of commitment and perseverance. Use your resources within your organization, get to know your biomed people and your quality people, but outside of your organization, YouTube is a great resource. We utilized YC Startup School a ton, very helpful information. 3, build a well-rounded team. Find people who are passionate about things that you are passionate about and learn from each other. 4, leverage LinkedIn. This might be my favorite. Some of the most impactful conversations and relationships that Lumify has been able to go ahead and build during the course of our growth was a connection made on LinkedIn. So definitely utilize LinkedIn for what it is, an amazing networking tool. 5 would be move quickly. At Lumify, we have a saying that we have adopted and use quite often, that done is better than perfect. If we get too bogged down in a to-do or a task, it impedes our momentum, and we really need to keep on pushing forward to continue to stay motivated. So move quickly. And last but not least is believe in yourself. You are capable of far more than you may consider yourself to be. At the start of this fellowship, I would not have even admitted to you that I was a nurse innovator. So it is exceptionally an honor. It really is exciting to be able to sit here with you and be able to tell my story, Lumify's story, in the hopes that it can encourage other people and really champion that message in nursing. And thank you so much for being able to hear me out today. I appreciate that.
Jennifferre, congratulations on your incredible raise. I have to say that is one of the most exciting things, because I remember that hackathon, that Sunseal Johnson & Johnson hackathon in person, when we brought the first fellows together, and that's where you all met back in New Jersey, 2019. And I think people want to know what happens, and are hackathons impactful? Because a lot of people out there in the world say, hey, hackathons are great, but, how did you do it? How did you take an idea from a hackathon, forming this team and making it all happen? Because it's been 2 years and you guys have done an incredible amount of growth in that time. So tell us a little bit about the secret to success coming from there.
I think it's people, honestly. I think people are what make everything possible, and staying gritty and knowing that you can lean into ask people for help, know that you have your limits and there are people out there who know more than you do in the space, and be able to utilize them as resources, and know that you are capable of this. I mean, as nurses, we are trained in bedside care at the start of our career, and we learn so much in being able to care for our patients and time management. And nurses do what nurses do, and we just make it happen at the end of the day for our patients. And much is the same in the world of entrepreneurship, is being able just to make it happen. But utilizing your resources and leaning into people, I think, was really the most important thing to help us be successful to date.
I love it. And Shauna Butler had a great question. In pitching Lumify for investment dollars, what words or phrases were not helpful in gaining investment interest? Anything that you learned that turned the investment community away from business that maybe other nurses need to recognize in terms of this? Because as you know, we talk about this all the time. In nursing school, we're not really taught the business side of healthcare. We talk in empathetic terms, I think, I feel, I believe. Was there anything that you learned specifically that was not helpful and helped train your pitch that you could share insightful for others?
I think overcoming the fact that we were nurses that were entering into the world of trying to speak with investors and gain funding for Lumify was definitely a challenge to begin with. And the first bit of pitches was really learning what resonated well and what didn't land very well in terms of what they wanted to hear. And I think for us, it was really like painting the vision and less of telling our story, beginning with, yes, we're nurses, and really laying that foundation of we understand the market because we are nurses, but really painting how expansive and the opportunities that it has to really be a $1 billion business is important. Because like you said, I feel they don't go very far in the land of investors. So being able to communicate your vision in a very big and impactful way is super important.
I love that. Nancy Henry wants to know, what was the leadership quality that most contributed to your success, do you think? Like, if you were thinking back on that, like, what was it that sort of drove you as a leadership skill to go on for this success?
I think all leaders need to be able to have a growth mindset, especially as nursing. You don't come out of nursing school knowing how to navigate international manufacturing. You don't come out of nursing school knowing how to do product development or how to navigate state sales tax. And you really just have to, one, understand that you don't know everything, but utilize those resources like we mentioned, and really have a growth mindset that you are capable, and leaning into that. I think that was the biggest thing. If you're closed off and you don't have a mind, or you're so easy like, oh, I don't know that, I can't do that. But there are so many resources available to you to help you learn and grow in areas that you're not strong in, that will help you be successful as a leader. So know that, continue to have a growth mindset, and you'll continue to grow your business.
Oh, I love that. I think that's spot on. And the truth is I think we get scared by what we don't know. And to your point, you can find people that do. And actually, that leads right into our last question. Lynn Fick asked, many people have ideas for tools and gears, but might not know how to get a prototype put together. How did you work on the actual prototype of the new Nightlight and get it to where you have it today?
Yeah, happy to share some of like the earlier points of the earlier process of the Nightlight. It seems like a decade ago trying to do that, and now entering into this app and being able to provide it as a resource. But to circle back in the day, I think it was really, we must have gone through 100+ different lights that were currently on the market to figure out what worked and what didn't work. Because ultimately, you have to always go back to your users, what lands and what doesn't work. And we're trying to figure out what clasp it needed to have, and how bright was too bright and how dim was too dim. And going through that process, innovation does, like I said, not have to be an expensive endeavor. And then really finding something that met maybe 70% of what we needed it to do with with manufacturers and then having them tweak all the internals and the insides and outsides to make it more functional for the environment that it was going to be used in. But I think just knowing that it doesn't have to be costly and being able to reach out and ask for questions and help is really important.
Yes. All right. One last question from the audience, because it's such a good one. Suzanne Boyle wants to know, how did you identify investor potential? And I think this might really tie in well to your one of the first nurses ever to be accepted into Techstars group, correct? So tell us just a little bit about that, and then we'll move on.
Yeah, actually, we are the first fully nurse-led team to be accepted by Y Combinator. So it is an international accelerator that has been running for the last 16 years. So definitely an honor to be the first fully nurse-led company to be backed by Y Combinator. We actually had our interview for Y Combinator on International Day of Nurses. So that is a fun share. We foreshadowed that it was going to happen for us. So fun for that. But being able to identify potential investors, it was helpful to kind of know what companies they had in their portfolio already. So a lot of investors will go ahead and list like companies that they have previously invested in, and being able to see if you fit into that categories that they have previously worked with was helpful. And then also being able to utilize your network and other people who have gained funding, that you can rely on intros for people. Most times it's nice when you can get an intro from other people versus just a cold hard ask, because then there comes with a certain amount of vetting. So if you know people who have gone down the pathway of fundraising beforehand, and you can lean on them to say, are there any great investors that you feel that we would be a good fit for? That has been really helpful in like honing in on what's going to be the best fit for you. And then strategically, just thinking about some people, you can have Joe Schmo give you $1,000 off the street, but ultimately wanting to be able to build your cap table with what's going to be most helpful for you, people who are in the space that you're working in, people who have connections that will help you grow your business and align you with who you need to be aligned with. That was really helpful as well. So those are some takeaways. Leaning into networks of people who have already previously fundraised, finding what their portfolio companies have been in the past, and then being able to be strategic about who you partner with.
Well, Jennifferre Mancillas, you are an inspiration to so many, and congratulations to you and Anthony, because it has been quite a journey, and it has been so much fun to watch everything that you've accomplished. So congratulations. We're going to bring you back at the end to have that last final conversation with your other Nurse Innovation Fellows, but love this story, and thank you so much for being here.